Ojukwu called all the elders and chiefs of the eastern region. Thereafter, Biafra was declared on the 30th of May 1967, with the hope that Nigeria will leave the Easterners alone. At 5 a.m. on 6 July 1967, Nigerian forces fired the first shot at Gakem, present-day Cross River State. They captured the oil fields of Biafra, but it was not enough. They began a blockade of Biafra, the attack by air, land, and sea, bombing civilians. By the time the war ended, over 3 million people were dead. They called it the Nigerian Civil War, but it was a genocide. Biafrans are celebrating May 30th, a day to celebrate the fallen heroes and heroines of Biafra, both young and old, in Biafra, Africa, died. Let's get reactions from well-meaning Igbos.
But today, we are standing here to celebrate Ojukwu himself, Ojukwu, the man who gave us identity. We are celebrating Chukwuma Kaduna Uzogo. We are celebrating those who did marvelous things in discovering, the atomic power, that liberated Biafra and made Biafra a solid foundation against the world when it comes in terms of technology. We are celebrating Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader, and we are celebrating all of them wherever they are today. We are telling them today, never again for the children of the oppressed. What happened in 1950 and 1960 was a decided, threat.
Deliberate.
Not because if you look at what they said Chukwuma Zogu did, Emmanuel Ifajuna did, that coup who had Lagos, Kaduna, and Ibadan, and people that were sent to carry out a particular task in their own location failed. But unfortunately, they termed that coup Igbo coup. We have seen subsequent coup led by Muhammadu Buhari. We have seen subsequent coup led by Babangida. We have seen it severally. Nobody said it is a Nathan coup. So that's what I'm telling you, that there was a decided threat on that regard. So away from that, Ojukwu declared the state of Biafra the same month Mushidayan of Israel, Chen Wiseman, the founder of the Zionist movement in Israel, declared Israel as a nation the same month. You can understand that a few weeks ago, Israel celebrated their own independence the same month. May 30, the Biafrans all over the world are going to mark the beginning of the rising of the children of the oppressed. And we are taking a stand on that. And it has come to stay, like Woloshenka said. So you can see the build-up of what led to that consciousness called Biafra. And by May 30, we are going to adopt our cap, we are going to stand firm, we are going to issue all manner of celebration, we are going to march as soldiers of the Lord of the cross in respect to those who fought in defense of what we are doing today. We are highly grateful for that identity, irrespective that the whole world stood against Biafra.
The whole world stood against Biafra.
The whole world pretend Biafra possibly has no ally when the war started, but the ingenuity, the first discovery of black man innovation, technology, weaponry was first carried out in Biafran land during the war, without any white man input. Go and ask anybody in Britain, ask anybody in Russia, Germany, France, whether there was any white man's input in the discovery of the military weapons manufactured, built by Biafrans alone. So they turned the setting an Igbo coup, and with the backing of the British system, France, Germany, all of them, they supported Nigeria not based on ideology, not based on reality, but based on commercial interests. And the whole world stood and committed the biggest genocide in the world. Over 7 million Biafrans, children, were massacred, killed. And the United Nations, as at that time, didn't look back, didn't ask questions. That was why the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, go and read what Steve Jobs said about Biafra before he died. Go and read what Bruce Murdoch did in United Nations headquarters in New York. People stood against the genocide that we are going. You see, they said after the war, and of course, the German threat to the Jews all over the world, the biggest and the largest genocide was committed under Nigerian Biafra war against Biafrans. Fortunately, God stood for Biafrans. The Biafran was able to defend themselves against the whole world for 4 good years.
The world turned their backs on Biafra.
Yes, they did. Not because they saw it that they can easily be crushed. They are in charge. But unfortunately, they met the worst, fierce resistance in the history of the world. And that is why all over the world today, wherever you are, if you mention that you're a Biafran, you're an Igbo, they will accord you certain percentage of respect and honor. Because in the history of the black man in Africa, the Biafran war exposed the ingenuity in Biafrans and in Africa. And that is why they said that in Biafra, Africa died. But today we are saying that in Biafra, Africa rise.
Will arise.
I'm telling you that what Nigeria and Britain did was quite unfortunate. Over 7 million people were killed in that war. Because somebody like Govt, who is facing the consequences of too many Igbo women, pregnant women, they were killed and massacred in the north under the coup.
Are you blaming Gowon or some people are looking at Awolowo?
I'm coming to that because Awolowo has its own consequences, of which it was purely a political motive. You know, by advising and creating and contributing to the crisis to an extent by introducing that starvation is a weapon of war. And that was what led to over 3 million Igbo children, different children, died of kwashiorkor. But the history we are going to look at today in marking the remembrance of what happened in May 30 is what we are standing here today. Today, Igbo Biafrans have grown to over 60 to 70 million in population all over the world. After the war, that's how many years now? That's ridiculous. That tells you that there's connectivity of divinity in what the black Jews of Africa is about to do and give to the world at the end of the day. And that was why we saw the rise of people like Nnamdi Kanu, you know, who has taken the mantle, you know, to discover and rediscover the history and the purpose of which Biafra was marked for 30th as the celebration of our remembrance and anniversary of the only nation in the world that existed but has refused to be sovereign.
I think a lot has changed after the war. A lot has changed. Igbos seems not to be united anymore.
To a lot of people, the only thing that unite us is, you know, our history. People might have individual opinion and reservation over anything, but the connectivity is our history and our culture and our identity. You know, when they came,
People don't support Biafra.
well, every Igbo, you know, that's what I'm trying to explain in this platform, that as long as you are Igbo speaking, you are a Biafran. automatically, naturally, you are a Biafran. So, if you're a Biafran and you decide to say, okay, I am Igbo Biafran, or I am a Ijo Biafran, or I'm a Che, Rivers, or Calabar, or Akwa Ibom, wherever you come from, the fact still remain that you are a Biafran. Anang Biafran, Eket Biafran, Ijo Biafran, Urobo Biafra, all these things. Benue, Kogi State, Igala. We have the history, we have the records. We know the genesis of what happened in Benin Kingdom. How Akalaka, during a crisis, led some people who are predominantly Igodomi to somewhere in Ikwere, Ichie, Eche, Owa, all those areas. Ndoki, Ndoni, we know the history, but we didn't know what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today, that unfortunately for Gowon, he never knew that too many fish in the pond will stir up the mud. And that is what is happening to Nigeria today. That is the crisis that has eaten up the entire middle belt. I think to an extent, Gowon couldn't see far until it was being interpreted to him by Obasanjo Awolowo what confederation means. And today, Nigeria is talking about confederation in disguise. You can see how exposed and learned that Igbos, ab initio, are pace setters, irrespective of how you look at it. The death of Agi Ironsi, who was not part of the coup, who stopped the coup in the first place, led by Kanu Kumazogu, and the rest, who are majorly Yorubas and Hausas. But unfortunately, because of that decided threat, they called it Igbo coup. And that was what led to the replacement of Yakubu Gowon as the head of state after Agi Ironsi was actually assassinated. And from there, Ojukwu in Enugu addressed the Igbo Union, as it were called then, and declared the sovereignty of the black Jewish nation in Africa. And that is what we call today Biafra. There is no traces. Our culture and our tradition, irrespective of millions of centuries that have come and gone, shows that we are the descendants of God. The fourth child of Jacob.
You think Nigeria will allow Biafra go?
Nigeria have already allowed Biafra, because if what we are talking about today has no trace connection with Nigeria, what we are asking for, Nigeria should not be giving us options on our territorial integrity. We will not accept that.
You have governors, you have
governors, because
you have the constitution that binds you together.
Yes, I'm coming to that. Constitution or no constitution, there was no constitution in Nigeria till today. Nigeria does not operate a constitution that was, agreed by the indigenous people of Nigeria. The constitution we are still operating today was the one transferred to us by the then colonial masters. Nigeria, and that is why the likes of Anyoko, Shehu Sani, and name them, other prominent Nigerians who understand the fabrics of unity, are advocating for indigenous constitution powered by the people. Till today. So Nigeria has no constitution at all.
So you're asking for a referendum?
I am not asking for a referendum. What I'm asking for is the recognition of the old East Central states before the invasion and destruction and the elimination of the Biafran influence in Kogi State, in Benue, in Niger, and other states that were destroyed because they don't want to see the black Jews of Africa rise to the sky. They continue, to break them into communities They continue to break them into states. They continue to break them into locals, creating discriminations. But today, we are saying never again for the children of the oppressed. So the rising begins like this. Every May 30th is a Memorial Day, and of course, it's an Independence Day for all Biafrans all over the world. Irrespective of how you see it, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has advanced the quest and for recognition, not by Nigeria, not by any form of referendum, by acting upon the charter of the United Nations under Geneva Convention that empowers the indigenous people of any territory to become self-determined. That's what we're asking for. And until the United Nations Security Council act on that, and of course, a fiat by any American president is a done deal. The name of the kingdom was called Biafra, but the people, the language of those Biafrans are called Igbo. We should not take that away. Just to give you a rundown, where we are coming from. We are as old as the earth. Nobody is going to take it away from us. If you look at the DNA of an Igbo man, you discover that Igbos, or Biafrans rather, we are ancient in history. We are ancient in connectivity with the divine existence of this earth. Ab initio. So let it not come to anybody. We are using this platform. Let it not come to anybody that Biafra was discovered or was found in 1967. Biafra is an extension of the first kingdom that was found then by powerful and influential people that had the authority and the mandate of the God of Israel. So the connection is what Ojukwu built on, and possibly that name Biafra was actually suggested for the people of that coastal territory, mainly dominated by Biafra-speaking Igbos. So we're not going to take that away, that Biafra is a nation. The people inside that nation are Biafrans, and their language is Igbo. We must understand that. That is why a lot of people are comfortable with what Ojukwu did as at that time by giving Igbo that clear identity. I'm using the word Igbo because everybody is familiar with it. But the real thing is that they are Biafrans and their language is Igbo. So away from that, there was a gang up, a decided threat gang up